You stand at the edge of your life, staring into the vast unknown. The world stretches out before you, a landscape of dreams, fears, and endless possibilities. But something holds you back, a whisper in your mind, a shadow in your heart. It tells you you're not enough, that you'll fail, that you don't belong. That voice, it's not your enemy. It's not a stranger. It's you. And yet, it's not the real you. It's the version of you that's been shaped by doubt, by rejection, by every moment you let the world define your worth. But today, that changes. Today, you step into the secret of unshakable confidence, a force so powerful it can rewrite your story, reshape your soul, and set your life ablaze with purpose. This isn't about pretending. It's not about faking it until you make it. It's about becoming the person who walks through fire and emerges stronger, who faces the storm and commands it to kneel. This is about you claiming the power that's always been yours. Confidence isn't a gift handed to the lucky few. It's not a trait you're born with like blue eyes or a quick wit. It's a fire you build brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. It's the courage to stand tall when the world tries to shrink you. It's the belief that your voice matters, even when no one's listening. It's the audacity to keep moving forward when every step feels like a battle. Unshakable confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the defiance to act in spite of it. It's the decision to rewrite the rules of who you are, to silence the doubts that have held you hostage, and to live as if your dreams are not just possible, but inevitable. Picture a man standing alone in a crowded room. His heart races, his palms sweat, his mind screams that he doesn't belong. He's surrounded by voices, louder, sharper, more polished than his own. They laugh, they connect, they command attention. And he feels invisible. But then something shifts. He takes a breath, deep and deliberate. He straightens his spine, as if pulling strength from the earth itself. He speaks, not to impress, but to express. His words are simple, raw, authentic, and in that moment, the room turns. Eyes meet his. Hearts lean in. The man who felt invisible becomes the one who cannot be ignored. What changed? Not the room, not the people, not even his words. It was him. He chose to believe he was enough. That choice, that single, unshakable decision, is the spark that ignites confidence. This is where it begins, with a choice. Not a feeling, not a moment of inspiration, but a deliberate act of will. You don't wait for confidence to find you. You don't sit idly, hoping for the day when fear vanishes and certainty arrives like a long-lost friend. No, you build it. You forge it in the quiet moments when no one's watching and the battles no one else sees. You build it when you choose to speak, even when your voice trembles. You build it when you take the first step, even when the path is unclear. You build it when you refuse to let the weight of the world define your worth. That's the secret. It's not hidden in some ancient text or locked behind a paywall. It's within you, waiting for you to claim it. But let's be real. The world doesn't make this easy. It's a battlefield out there, and the weapons aimed at you are relentless. Doubt creeps in like a thief, stealing your resolve. Comparison taunts you, whispering that someone else is smarter, stronger, more deserving. Rejection stings like a blade, cutting deeper than you'd ever admit. And failure? Failure feels like a verdict, a final judgment that you're not cut out for the life you want. These are the enemies of confidence, and they're not imaginary. They're real, they're heavy, and they're loud. But here's the truth. They only have power if you give it to them. Every time you let doubt dictate your actions, Every time you let comparison steal your joy, every time you let rejection define your worth, you hand over your power. Unshakable confidence is the act of taking it back. Think about the moments that have shaped you. The times you fell and didn't want to get up. The times you spoke and no one listened. The times you poured your heart into something only to watch it crumble. Those moments didn't break you. They built you. They were the forge, the fire, the hammer that shaped your soul. Every scar is a story of survival. Every failure is a lesson in strength. Every rejection is proof that you dare to try. Confidence isn't built in the moments of triumph. It's built in the moments when you choose to keep going, even when the world tells you to quit. It's built when you look at your scars and see not shame, but strength. When you look at your failures and see not defeat, but defiance. Let's talk about mindset. The foundation of unshakable confidence is what you believe about yourself, not what the world believes, not what your critics believe, not even what your friends or family believe. What you believe. Your mind is the battlefield where confidence is won or lost. If you believe you're small, you'll live small. If you believe you're unworthy, you'll act unworthy. But if you believe you're capable, if you believe your voice matters, your dreams are valid, your potential is limitless, then the world has no choice but to bend to your will. This isn't arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing you're enough, exactly as you are, with all your flaws, all your fears, all your dreams. Imagine a woman who's been told her whole life she's too much, too loud, too bold, too ambitious. She's learned to shrink, to soften her edges, to dim her light, to make others comfortable. But one day, she decides enough is enough. She stands in front of a mirror, looks in her own eyes, and says, I am enough. Not perfect, not flawless, but enough. She starts small, speaking up in a meeting, sharing an idea, saying no to something that doesn't serve her. Each act is a rebellion against the voice that told her to stay small. And with each act, her confidence grows. Not because the world changed, but because she did. She chose to believe in herself. That belief became her shield, her sword, her fire. This is the power of belief. It's not blind optimism or empty affirmations. It's a deep, unyielding conviction that you are capable of more than you've been told. It's the refusal to let the world's limitations become your own. Dale Carnegie once said that the way to develop self-confidence is to do the thing you fear and keep on doing it. That's not a platitude, it's a battle cry. Every time you act in spite of fear, you weaken its grip. Every time you choose belief over doubt, you strengthen your soul. Every time you step forward, even when your knees shake, you build the unshakable confidence that will carry you through life. But belief alone isn't enough. It's the spark, not the fire. To sustain confidence, you need clarity. You need to know who you are and what you stand for. Without clarity, you're a ship without a compass, drifting wherever the winds of life take you. Clarity is the act of defining your values, your purpose, your vision. It's asking yourself the hard questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? What am I willing to sacrifice to get there? These aren't questions you answer once and forget. They're questions you live with, wrestle with, refine with every step of your journey. Picture a man lost in the noise of the world. He's chasing success, but he doesn't know what it means to him. Is it money? Status? Approval? He's running, always running, but he's not sure where he's going. One day he stops. He sits in silence, away from the chaos, and asks himself, what do I really want? Not what his parents want, not what his friends expect, not what society demands. What does he want? The answer comes slowly, like a sunrise breaking through the fog. He wants to create. He wants to inspire. He wants to leave a mark that outlives him. That clarity becomes his North Star. It doesn't make the journey easy, but it makes it meaningful. He moves forward with purpose, and that purpose fuels his confidence. Clarity gives you direction, but it's vision that gives you fire. Vision is the ability to see beyond the present moment, to imagine a life bigger than the one you're living. It's not about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's about creating a picture so vivid, so compelling, that it pulls you forward even when the world pushes you back. Your vision is your why. It's the reason you get up when you fall, the reason you keep going when you're tired, the reason you dare to dream when everyone else tells you to settle. Think of a young woman standing at a crossroads. She's talented, driven, but paralyzed by indecision. Should she take the safe job, the one that pays well, but feels like a cage? Or should she chase the dream that burns in her heart, the one that scares her to her core? She closes her eyes and imagines her life 5 years from now. Not the safe version, but the bold one. She sees herself creating, leading, inspiring. She sees herself alive, not just existing, but truly alive. That vision becomes her anchor. When doubt creeps in, when fear whispers, when the world tells her to play it safe, she holds onto that vision. It's not just a dream, it's her fuel. It's her confidence. But vision without action is just a fantasy. Unshakable confidence isn't built by dreaming, it's built by doing. It's the courage to take the first step, even when it's small. It's the discipline to keep going, even when the results aren't immediate. It's the resilience to fail, learn, and try again. Action is where belief, clarity, and vision collide. It's where you prove to yourself that you're not just talk, not just hope, but a force to be reckoned with. Consider a man who's always wanted to start his own business. He's got the idea, the passion, the vision, but fear keeps him stuck. What if he fails? What if he's not good enough? One day he decides to act. Not a grand gesture, not a leap off a cliff, just a small step. He writes a business plan. He makes a phone call. He takes a course. Each action, no matter how small, is a brick in the foundation of his confidence. Each step forward proves to him that he's capable. And as he builds, his fear shrinks. Not because the world got easier, but because he got stronger. Action is the antidote to fear. It's the proof that you're not defined by your doubts. Every time you act, every time you speak, create, try, fail, learn, you're telling the world and yourself that you're in the game. You're not a bystander in your own life. You're the one writing the story. And that story, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up day after day and choosing to be the person you know you can be. But let's not pretend it's all forward motion. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path, some small, some so big they feel like mountains. That's where gratitude comes in. Not the shallow kind, not the force be thankful mantra, but the deep, soul-shifting kind. Gratitude is the ability to find meaning in the struggle, to see the gift in the challenge, to recognize that every moment, good or bad, is shaping you into something greater. When you're grateful, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're not just enduring, you're growing. Imagine a woman who's lost everything. Her job, her savings, her sense of security. The world feels like it's crumbling beneath her feet. But in the quiet of her darkest night, she finds something unshakable, gratitude. Not for the loss, but for the strength it's forcing her to find. for the lessons it's teaching her, for the chance to rebuild, not just what she had, but something better. She starts small, thanking the universe for a sunrise, for a kind word, for the breath in her lungs. And slowly, that gratitude becomes her lifeline. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives her the strength to rise above it. It fuels her confidence, not because life got easier, but because she realized she's tougher than her toughest days. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It turns obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, pain into power. When you're grateful, you're not a victim of your circumstances. You're a creator of your destiny. You see the world not as a place that's out to get you, but as a canvas for your courage. And that perspective, it's the bedrock of unshakable confidence. It's the knowledge that no matter what happens, you have the power to find meaning, to keep moving, to keep building. But confidence isn't just about you. It's about how you show up for others. Dale Carnegie taught us that the way to win friends, to influence people, to leave a mark on the world, is to care genuinely, deeply, authentically. Unshakable confidence isn't about being the loudest in the room or the most dominant. It's about being the one who listens, who sees, who lifts others up. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you don't need to prove it. You can focus on helping others find theirs. Picture a leader in a struggling team. The deadlines are tight, the morale is low, the pressure is crushing. She could demand, she could criticize, she could push. But instead, she listens. She asks questions. She offers encouragement. Not empty praise, but specific, heartfelt recognition of each person's effort. She shares her vision, not as a command, but as an invitation. And slowly, the team transforms. Not because she was perfect, but because she was present. Her confidence wasn't in her title or her skills. It was in her ability to connect, to inspire, to believe in others even when they didn't believe in themselves. This is the secret of influence. It's not about you. It's about them. When you approach the world with genuine care, when you listen more than you speak, when you seek to understand before you seek to be understood, you become a force. People don't follow you because you're flawless. They follow you because you make them feel seen. And that ability to connect, to uplift, to inspire, it's rooted in the same confidence that drives your own journey. When you know your worth, you can afford to give others theirs. But let's not sugarcoat it. The path to unshakable confidence is not a straight line. It's a winding road full of detours, dead ends, and moments when you feel like you're back at square one. That's where adaptability comes in. Confidence isn't about being rigid or unyielding. It's about being flexible, open, willing to learn. It's about recognizing that the world will change and you must change with it. Not by abandoning your values, but by evolving your approach, by staying curious, by embracing the unknown. Think of a man who's built a successful career only to see his industry disrupted overnight. The skills he mastered, the routines he relied on, they're obsolete. He could cling to the past, resent the change, fight against the tide. But instead, he adapts. He learns new skills, not because he loves the process, but because he loves the vision. He asks questions, seeks mentors, embraces failure as a teacher. His confidence isn't in knowing everything. It's in knowing he can learn anything. That adaptability becomes his edge, his strength, his unshakable core. Adaptability is the willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. It's the courage to step into the unknown, not because you're fearless, but because you trust yourself to figure it out. It's the humility to say, I don't know, but I'll learn. And that humility, it's not weakness, it's power. It's the power to grow, to evolve, to become more than you were yesterday. Unshakable confidence doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you have the courage to find them. And when the world knocks you down, and it will, resilience is what gets you back up. Resilience isn't about bouncing back to who you were. It's about rising as someone stronger, wiser, fiercer. It's about looking at the pieces of your broken dreams and building something new. It's about standing in the wreckage of your failures and saying, "This is not the end of me." Resilience is the heart of unshakable confidence because it's the proof that no matter what life throws at you, you will not be defeated. Imagine a young man who's lost his way. He had big dreams once, but life hit hard. Failure after failure, rejection after rejection. He feels like giving up, but in his darkest moment, he remembers something. He's still here. He's still breathing. He's still fighting. He picks himself up, not because he feels strong, but because he refuses to stay down. He takes one step, then another. He builds, he learns, he grows. And with every step, he realizes something. The world didn't break him. It made him. His confidence isn't in never falling, it's in always rising. This is the essence of unshakable confidence. The refusal to be defined by your circumstances. It's the choice to keep going, to keep believing, to keep building no matter what. It's the knowledge that you are not your failures, your fears, or your doubts. You're the one who chooses, the one who acts, the one who rises. And that choice, that action, that resilience, it's what makes you unstoppable. But resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about learning. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt is a teacher. The question is, are you listening? Unshakable confidence comes from embracing every experience as a lesson, every failure as a guide, every struggle as a stepping stone. When you approach life as a student, not a victim, you unlock the power to grow endlessly. You don't just overcome, you evolve. Picture a woman who's been passed over for a promotion again. The sting is real, the disappointment heavy. But instead of wallowing, she asks herself, what can I learn? She seeks feedback, not to prove her worth, but to improve her skills. She studies, she practices, she grows. The next time an opportunity comes, she's not just ready, she's undeniable. Her confidence isn't in the title she didn't get, it's in the person she's becoming. That's the power of learning. It's not about knowing everything, it's about growing through everything. And as you learn, as you grow, as you rise, you begin to see the world differently. You see opportunities where others see obstacles. You see lessons where others see failures. You see purpose where others see chaos. This is the secret to unshakable confidence. It's not a destination, it's a journey. It's not a feeling, it's a choice. It's not a gift, it's a fire you build day after day, step after step, moment after moment. So here you are, standing at the edge of your life. The world is vast, uncertain, alive with possibility. The doubts are still there. The fears haven't vanished. The challenges haven't disappeared. But you're not the same. You are the one who chooses belief over doubt, action over fear, resilience over defeat. You're the one who builds, who learns, who rises. And as you step forward, as you claim your power, as you forge your unshakable confidence, the world will turn to watch. Not because you're perfect, but because you're undeniable. Because you've chosen to be the author of your own story. And that story, it's only just beginning. Your story is unfolding, page by page, moment by moment. You've taken the first steps, chosen belief over doubt, action over hesitation, resilience over surrender. But the journey doesn't end with a single choice or a fleeting spark of courage. Unshakable confidence is a fire that demands fuel, a structure that demands maintenance, a life that demands commitment. The world will test you, not once, but relentlessly. It will push against your resolve, challenge your vision, and question your worth. And in those moments, when the weight feels unbearable, when the path feels uncertain, you'll find that confidence isn't about standing still. It's about moving forward, even when the ground beneath you shakes. The world loves to tell you who you should be. It bombards you with images of perfection, stories of overnight success, and voices that whisper you're too late, too flawed, too ordinary. But unshakable confidence is the defiance to reject those lies. It's the audacity to say, I'm not what the world expects. I am what I choose to become. This is where purpose comes alive. Purpose isn't a grand revelation that strikes like lightning. It's not a single moment of clarity that solves everything. Purpose is the quiet, steady pulse that guides you when the noise of the world grows too loud. It's the reason you keep going when everything else tells you to stop. Imagine a man walking through a storm. The rain is relentless, the wind howls, and the path ahead is barely visible. He could turn back, seek shelter, wait for the storm to pass. But he doesn't. He keeps walking, not because he's fearless, but because he knows why he's walking. His purpose isn't a destination. It's a fire in his chest that no storm can extinguish. Maybe it's his family, waiting for him to show them what's possible. Maybe it's a dream he's carried since he was a child. Maybe it's the simple, unshakable belief that he was meant for more. That purpose fuels his steps, steadies his heart, and anchors his confidence. The storm doesn't define him. His purpose does. Purpose is your compass, but discipline is your engine. Without discipline, even the clearest purpose fades into a distant dream. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not glamorous. It's not a montage of triumphant moments. It's the quiet, gritty choice to show up when you're tired, to work when you're uninspired, to push when every fiber of your being wants to rest. Discipline is what turns vision into reality, belief into action, dreams into achievements. It's the daily commitment to your purpose, even when the world offers you 1,000 excuses to quit. Picture a woman who dreams of writing a book. She sees it clearly, the story, the characters, the impact it could have. But life is loud. Work demands her time. Responsibilities pile up, and doubt creeps in, whispering that she's not a writer, that her story doesn't matter. She could let that dream slip away, buried under the weight of someday. But she doesn't. She sets aside an hour each morning before the world wakes to write. Some days the words flow. Other days they stall. But she shows up every day because discipline isn't about feeling ready. It's about being committed. Each word she writes is a brick in the foundation of her confidence. Each page she completes is proof that she's not just dreaming, she's doing. Discipline is the act of honoring your future self. It's choosing the hard now over the easy later. It's saying no to distractions, no to excuses, no to the temptation to settle. And with every choice, every small act of discipline, you build something unshakable. Not just a book, a business, or a dream, but a belief in yourself. You prove to yourself that you're capable, that you're reliable, that you're worthy of the life you envision. That's the secret of discipline. It's not just about what you achieve, but about who you become in the process. But discipline doesn't mean rigidity. It doesn't mean chaining yourself to a plan that no longer serves you. Life is fluid, unpredictable, alive with change. Unshakable confidence requires the flexibility to adapt, to pivot, to rewrite the plan when the ground shifts beneath you. Adaptability isn't about abandoning your purpose. It's about finding new ways to honor it. It's about recognizing that the path to your vision might twist, but the destination remains the same. It's about trusting yourself to navigate the unexpected without losing sight of who you are. Think of a young man starting a small business. He poured his heart into it. Every dollar, every hour, every hope. But the market shifts. Customers change. What worked yesterday doesn't work today. He could dig in, cling to his original plan, and fight the tide. But instead, he listens. He learns. He experiments. He tweaks his strategy, not because he's giving up, but because he's committed to his vision. His confidence isn't in the plan. It's in his ability to adapt, to grow, to find a way forward no matter what. That adaptability becomes his strength, his edge, his unshakable core. Adaptability is the courage to let go of what's not working without letting go of what matters. It's the humility to say, I was wrong, but I'm still moving forward. It's the wisdom to see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity. When you embrace adaptability, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're not just reacting, you're creating. You're not just enduring, you're evolving. And that evolution, it's what makes your confidence unshakable. Because no matter what the world throws at you, you know you can handle it. You know you can learn, grow, and find a way. But let's talk about the moments when the way forward feels impossible. When the weight of life feels too heavy. When the failures stack up. When the dream seems out of reach. These are the moments that test your confidence most. These are the moments when resilience becomes your lifeline. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about what you do when you hit the ground. It's about looking at the pieces of your broken plans and saying, I will build again. It's about standing in the wreckage of your dreams and choosing to start over, not from scratch, but from strength. Imagine a woman who's poured years into a career, only to lose it in a single, unexpected moment. The job she loved, the identity she built, the future she planned, it's gone. The pain is raw, the fear overwhelming. She could let it define her, let it break her, let it become the story of her life. But she doesn't. She takes a breath, steadies her heart, and starts again. She doesn't deny the pain, she uses it. She doesn't ignore the fear, she faces it. She takes one step, then another, building a new path, not because it's easy, but because it's hers. Her confidence isn't in never failing, it's in always rising. Resilience is the art of turning pain into power. It's the refusal to let your circumstances write your story. It's the courage to look at your failures and see not shame, but strength. Every time you rise, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your setbacks. Every time you rebuild, you prove that you're bigger than your losses. Every time you keep going, you prove that your confidence is not fragile. It's forged in fire, tempered by struggle, and unbreakable by the world's chaos. And in that resilience, you find gratitude, not the shallow kind, not the forced smile through gritted teeth, but the deep, soul-shifting gratitude that transforms how you see the world. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the pain or pretending everything's fine. It's about finding meaning in the struggle, seeing the gift in the challenge, recognizing that every moment, good or bad, is shaping you into something greater. When you're grateful, you're not just surviving, you're growing. You're not just enduring, you're becoming. Picture a man who's faced rejection after rejection. Every door he knocks on slams shut. Every opportunity he chases slips away. The world feels like it's conspiring against him. But in the quiet of his struggle, he finds something unexpected: gratitude. Not for the rejections, but for what they're teaching him. For the strength they're forcing him to find. For the clarity they're giving him about what truly matters. He starts small, thanking the universe for a kind word, a new idea, a moment of peace. And slowly, that gratitude becomes his anchor. It doesn't erase the struggle, but it gives him the strength to keep going. It fuels his confidence, not because the world changed, but because he did. Gratitude is the lens that turns obstacles into opportunities. It's the perspective that sees failure not as a verdict, but as a lesson. It's the mindset that finds light in the darkest moments. When you're grateful, you're not a victim of your circumstances. You're a creator of your destiny. You see the world not as a place that's out to get you, but as a canvas for your courage. And that perspective, it's the foundation of unshakable confidence. It's the knowledge that no matter what happens, you have the power to find meaning, to keep moving, to keep building. But confidence isn't just about you. It's about how you show up for others. It's about the impact you have, the lives you touch, the legacy you leave. Dale Carnegie taught us that true influence comes not from power or prestige, but from genuine care, from seeing people not as means to an end, but as ends in themselves. Unshakable confidence gives you the freedom to focus on others, because you're not consumed by proving your own worth. You're secure enough to listen, to uplift, to inspire. You're strong enough to make others feel strong. Imagine a leader standing before a struggling team. The stakes are high, the morale is low, the pressure is crushing. She could demand results, point out flaws, push harder, but instead she listens. She asks questions, not to judge, but to understand. She offers encouragement, not empty praise, but specific, heartfelt recognition of each person's effort. She shares her vision, not as a command, but as an invitation to build something together. And slowly, the team transforms. Not because she was perfect, but because she was present. Her confidence wasn't in her title or her skills. It was in her ability to connect, to inspire, to believe in others even when they doubted themselves. This is the power of influence. It's not about you. It's about them. When you approach the world with genuine care, when you listen more than you speak, when you seek to understand before you seek to be understood, you become a force. People don't follow you because you're flawless. They follow you because you make them feel seen, because you make them feel capable, because you show them what's possible. And that ability to connect, to uplift, to inspire, it's rooted in the same confidence that drives your own journey. When you know your worth, you can afford to give others theirs. But let's be honest, the world doesn't always reward kindness. It doesn't always value authenticity. There'll be moments when your care is met with indifference, your effort with criticism, your trust with betrayal. These are the moments that test your confidence most. These are the moments when you must dig deep, not just for resilience, but for forgiveness. Not the weak kind, not the kind that excuses harm, but the strong kind, the kind that frees you from carrying the weight of someone else's actions. Forgiveness isn't about them, it's about you. It's about refusing to let their choices dim your light. Picture a woman who's been betrayed by someone she trusted. The pain cuts deep, the anger burns hot. She could let it consume her, let it define her, let it make her cynical. But instead, she chooses forgiveness, not because they deserve it, but because she deserves peace. She lets go of the bitterness, not to absolve them, but to reclaim her power. That choice becomes her strength. It becomes her confidence. It becomes the proof that no one, not a friend, not a critic, not the world, can take away what she's built within herself. Forgiveness is the act of choosing your own freedom. It's the refusal to let someone else's actions dictate your worth. It's the courage to keep your heart open, even when it's been bruised. And that courage, it's the heart of unshakable confidence. Because when you can forgive, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're not just healing, you're growing. You're not just moving on, you're moving forward. And as you move forward, you carry something else, humility. Not the kind that shrinks you, but the kind that grounds you. Humility is the recognition that you don't have all the answers, that you're not above failure, that you're always learning. It's the willingness to admit when you're wrong, to seek help when you need it, to grow from every experience. Humility doesn't weaken your confidence, it strengthens it. Because when you're humble, you're not afraid to fail. You're not afraid to learn. You're not afraid to become more than you are. Think of a man who's climbed the ladder of success, only to realize he's on the wrong wall. The world sees him as accomplished, but inside, he feels empty. He could keep climbing, chasing the same hollow victories. But instead, he pauses. He reflects. He admits to himself that he's lost his way. That admission isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the courage to start over, to realign with his purpose, to build something that matters. His confidence isn't in his status, it's in his willingness to grow, to learn, to begin again. Humility is the soil where confidence grows. It's the foundation that keeps you grounded, even as you reach for the stars. It's the reminder that you're not perfect, but you're always enough. And that enoughness, it's what allows you to keep going, to keep building, to keep becoming. It's what makes your confidence unshakable, because it's not built on pride or perfection. It's built on truth. And truth is the final piece. Unshakable confidence is rooted in authenticity. It's about knowing who you are, flaws and all, and choosing to show up as that person unapologetically. It's about speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. It's about living your values, even when the world tempts you to compromise. It's about standing tall, not because you're better than anyone else, but because you're true to yourself. Imagine a young woman standing before a crowd. Her heart pounds, her hands tremble, but her eyes are steady. She's not polished, not perfect, not what the world expects. But she speaks. She shares her story, her truth, her heart. And in that moment, the crowd doesn't see her flaws. They see her courage. They don't hear her fear. They hear her conviction. Her confidence isn't in being flawless. It's in being real. And that realness is what makes her unforgettable. Authenticity is the spark that sets your confidence ablaze. It's the courage to be seen, not as the world wants you to be, but as you are. It's the strength to stand in your truth, even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when it's unpopular. When you're authentic, you're not chasing approval. You're claiming your power. You're not hiding, you're shining. And that light, it's what draws others to you. It's what inspires them. It's what makes your confidence unshakable. So here you are, still standing at the edge of your life. The world is vast, uncertain, alive with possibility. The doubts haven't vanished. The fears haven. The world will always try to shake you. It will throw curveballs, unexpected losses, crushing rejections, moments of doubt so heavy they threaten to bury you. But here's the truth. Those moments don't define you. They refine you. They're not the end of your story. They're the forge where your confidence is tempered. Every challenge is a chance to prove, not to the world, but to yourself, that you are stronger than the storm, that you are bigger than the obstacles, that you are the one who decides what your life will become. Think of a man standing on the edge of a cliff, staring into the abyss below. The wind howls, the ground feels unsteady, and fear whispers that one wrong step will be his end. But he doesn't step back. He doesn't freeze. He looks into the abyss and sees not just danger, but possibility. He sees a chance to leap, to soar, to discover what lies beyond. His confidence isn't in knowing he'll land perfectly. It's in knowing he can handle whatever comes next. That's the secret. It's not about avoiding the cliff. It's about trusting yourself to jump. This trust in yourself is the heart of unshakable confidence. It's the belief that you can face the unknown and come out stronger. It's the courage to step into the darkness, not because you're fearless, but because you know you're capable. Capable of learning, of growing, of rising again and again. This trust isn't built in a single moment. It's built in the countless moments when you choose to act, to learn, to keep going. It's built when you face your fears and realize they're not as big as they seemed. It's built when you fall and choose to stand, not because it's easy, but because it's who you are. But let's talk about fear, because it's always there. It's the shadow that follows you, the whisper that lingers in the quiet moments. Fear isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It shows you where your edges are, where your growth lies, where your courage is waiting to be claimed. Unshakable confidence doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you refuse to let it control you. It means you look fear in the eye and say, "You don't get to decide my path." It means you take the step, make the call, speak the truth, even when your heart races and your hands shake. Picture a woman preparing to speak in front of a room full of strangers. Her stomach churns, her mind races with every possible way she could fail. She could walk away, stay silent, let fear win. But instead, she takes a breath deep and steady. She reminds herself why she's there. Not to be perfect, but to share something real. She steps forward, voice trembling at first, then growing stronger with every word. The fear doesn't disappear, but loses its power. She realizes that confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the courage to act in spite of it. And with every word she speaks, she builds something unshakable within herself. This is the alchemy of confidence, turning fear into fuel. Every time you act despite fear, you weaken its grip. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you strengthen your soul. Every time you step into the unknown, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Fear will always be there, but so will you. And you're stronger, you're fiercer, you're unstoppable. But strength alone isn't enough. Unshakable confidence is also about connection. It's about how you show up in the world, how you touch the lives around you. Dale Carnegie taught us that the greatest influence comes not from dominance, but from empathy, from seeing people, truly seeing them, and helping them see themselves. Confidence gives you the freedom to focus on others, because you're not consumed by proving your own worth. You're secure enough to listen, to uplift, to inspire. You're strong enough to make others feel strong. Imagine a man mentoring a young colleague who's struggling. She's talented but unsure, full of potential but paralyzed by doubt. He could lecture her, list her flaws, push her to perform. But instead, he listens. He asks questions that make her think, that make her feel seen. He shares stories, not of his triumphs, but of his failures, his doubts, his moments of rising again. He doesn't just tell her she's capable. He shows her, through his belief in her, that she already is. His confidence isn't in being better than her. It's in helping her become better than she thought possible. And in that act, he becomes a force, not just in her life, but in his own. This is the ripple effect of confidence. When you know your worth, you can give others theirs. When you're secure in yourself, you can lift others up. When you live authentically, you inspire others to do the same. Your confidence doesn't just change you, it changes the world around you. It creates a legacy, not of trophies or titles, but of lives touched, hearts inspired, dreams ignited. That's the power of unshakable confidence. It's not just yours. It's a gift you give to everyone you meet. But let's not pretend it's easy. The world is messy, unpredictable, often unkind. There will be days when your confidence feels fragile, when the fire within you flickers. There will be moments when you doubt your purpose, question your path, wonder if it's all worth it. These moments don't mean you're failing. They mean you're human. Unshakable confidence isn't about never doubting. It's about what you do with the doubt. It's about choosing to keep going, even when the spark feels faint. It's about trusting that the fire is still there, waiting for you to fan it back to life. Picture a young man who's been chasing a dream for years. He's poured everything into it, time, money, heart. But the results aren't what he hoped. The world doesn't seem to notice. Doubt creeps in, heavy and relentless. He could give up, walk away, call a loss. But instead, he pauses. He reflects. He remembers why he started. Not for applause, not for instant success, but for the person he's becoming. He takes one small step, then another. He keeps going, not because he's certain, but because he's committed. And in that commitment, he finds his confidence again. Not in the outcome, but in the act of showing up. Commitment is the backbone of confidence. It's the choice to keep moving, even when the path is unclear. It's a decision to honor your purpose, even when the world doesn't understand. It's the courage to bet on yourself, day after day, step after step. Commitment doesn't mean you never waver. It means you never quit. It means you trust that every step, no matter how small, is building something bigger, something stronger, something unshakable. And as you commit, as you keep going, you discover something else. Joy. Not the fleeting kind, not the rush of a quick win, but the deep, steady joy of living a life aligned with your truth. Joy is the reward of unshakable confidence. It's the feeling of knowing you're on your path, not someone else's. It's the peace,